Hello everybody, my name is Cesar Brod. I am the Director of Community Engagement for the Linux Professional Institute. It is great to be here at EduTECH Asia, virtually. Hopefully in the next event I will have the opportunity to be there in person. I really would like that very much. Thank you for the opportunity to be here speaking to you about the wonderful world, the magical world of information technology. We tend to divide the knowledge into two main areas. The human sciences, where you have philosophy, sociology, history, and the exact sciences, where you have math, physics, chemistry, and where is information technology. A lot of people like to say that information technology is not exact, is not humane, it is in the occult, the hidden sciences. And because of that, I would like to summarize to you a story about a person that a lot of you, I'm pretty sure, know about him. Harry Potter. Harry Potter, and as I do that, I'll sort of make a parallel between the story of Harry Potter and the story of Linus Torvalds, and it might as well be your own history if you think about it. Well, Harry Potter was born in July 1980, and soon after that he became an orphan. It was until 1991 he was raised among regular humans, and then only in September 1991 he was able to join Hogwarts. So I compare that with the first time that Harry Potter was able to do some mob programming with Hermione and Ron. And I also compare this with the first program that was written by Linus Torvalds. It was written in BASIC, and the only thing that the program did was print in the screen several times, Sarah is the greatest. And Sarah is the sister of Linus Torvalds. When Harry Potter was 13 years old, he participated in the Three Wizard, the tournament of the Three Wizards. And Albus Dumbledore, when he opened the tournament, he said something in the lines of eternal glory. This is what awaits the student who wins the Three Wizard tournament. But for that, he will have to survive 3 tasks, 3 extremely dangerous tasks. Keep that in mind, like for everyone who wants to advance seriously in their careers, they do need to overcome a lot of different and with different degrees of difficulty tasks. When Harry Potter was around 14 to 15 years old, he entered in November of 1995, he entered the Dumbledore Army, which I compare to your first project at GitHub. Then, in June 1996, he received his ordinary wizarding level, which is the equivalent of you getting your Linux Essential certification. Starting in September 1996, he started to take lessons directly from Dumbledore. So I would compare that of Linus Torvalds meeting for the first time with John Mad Dog Hall. We won't have time to tell the whole story in here, but our chairman of the board, Mad Dog, was the one that actually provided Linus Torvalds with a 64-bit computer, which was when Linus Torvalds for the first time ported Linux outside of the Intel 386 architecture. And well, today Linux runs in everywhere, and we'll tell you a little bit more about that as we move on. From 26 to 39 years old, in 2007, Harry Potter became the head of the Auror department. And in 2020, this year, he became the head of the Magic Police department. So you see, it took him a lot of time to get to leadership, to places of leadership, where he was the leader. And sometimes people tell me, well, it's very difficult to study for the information technology market because things change every day. This is and it isn't true. I will provide here a slide that I took from an article from 1999 written by David Gerrold, where he pretty much describes what we have today and we call smartphones. So if you are paying attention to what is going on in our industry, you see that you can sort of predict what is going to come after that. So yes, you will need to study forever if you want to be active in this market and you want to see your career evolve. But if you know enough of what is going on, you'll be able to position yourself in the market as the market evolves. Once I say that, just don't trust trainings like learn data science in 1 week, learn Linux system administration in a weekend. This will never happen. I would like to look at an example that I am providing to you in here, in this slide, which is the example of John Washington. John Washington wanted to work for Google. He ended up being hired by Amazon, which was good enough. He is happy in his job. And he studied from 8 to 12 hours per day during 8 months to be able to get this job. So, and he published all of what he studied, all of the reference, it's everything in GitHub, and the address for you will be provided in here. And I'm pretty sure the people in EduTECH will provide you with this whole presentation. So you'll be able to review it as you wish. Well, so if he studied 8 to 12 hours for 8 months, let's suppose you have about 4 to 6 hours every day that you can use to study. You will need to study for 8 times 2, 16 months. So if you do a small rule of 3, you figure out if you have how many hours you have in the day, how many months or how many years you need to study. To make your life easy, I'll provide you here with a link where you can actually type in the amount of hours that you have to study, and you'll know the time that you need to study to achieve your goal. Of course, you don't need to stop everything to study to get your dream job. You can get better jobs as you go on, as you move on with your studies. I'll tell you, do learn about free technologies. Why should you do that? First, it's easier to build on top of things that already exist. You might think that you have a very big and new idea, but if you do research in repositories such as GitHub, GitLab, SourceForge, Savannah, several others, you see that probably someone has already started an idea that is similar to yours, or at least is able to provide some basis for you to evolve your idea. And the software is there, just grab the code and start collaborating and building on top of that. Free software, of course, is more secure. The reason for that, Eric Raymond said about that in his article, The Cathedral and the Bazaar, and he named it the Linus Law. Given enough ice, all bugs are shallow. Of course, we do have problems within free and open source software, but as we have lots of users and everyone has access to the code, the odds that someone will find a solution very rapidly are really good. Like, this is actually what has been happening since free and open source software existed. It's easy to access, just download it from the internet, make sure that the license is a free software license. It's easy to adapt once you have the access to the source code. LibreOffice is a very good example that it has been internationalized to several languages. You can write from right to left to right. It all depending on where you are, you can use the software. Another example, people that are in the proprietary software area use a lot Photoshop to edit images. In the free software world, we have GIMP. And we have some guys here in Brazil that created PhotoGIMP, which is basically GIMP with an interface that is similar to Photoshop. So the learning curve for those who are coming from the Photoshop world will be a lot easier, will be a lot faster. Free software adheres to standards, and this is pretty much why the whole internet is based on free software. Even as the cloud evolved, if you see today, most of the protocols that we have in cloud servers, they evolved from standards and were developed in free software protocols. And also Linux is extremely present in the cloud. Even inside the Microsoft Cloud, Azure, the offer of Linux is greater than the offer of Windows servers. And Microsoft themselves, they provide the best shell for the newest Windows versions. And if this is not enough to convince you, you must know that the whole world is using free and open source software. From the blender in your kitchen, to your smart TV, to your tablet, your smartphone, to the embedded systems that you have in the cars, up to the cockpit of SpaceX. And I'm mentioning SpaceX here because a couple of years ago, and you also have the slide with this tweet from Elon Musk. Elon Musk himself, the owner of SpaceX, Tesla Motors, the Boring Company, and several other companies, he tweeted himself about the adoption of the new Linux kernel on SpaceX. So, if the owner of these companies is concerned about free and open source software, so you should also be. The Linux Professional Institute has the mission of promoting the use of free and open technologies by supporting the people that work with this kind of technology in this free and open technology ecosystem. The way we do that, we provide through our topics that you can see in our wiki, wiki.lpi.org, guidelines for you from the start, from Linux Essentials to Linux administration, Linux network administration, and more advanced topics such as security, mixed environments, high availability, DevOps, and things like that. You can go there and study, and of course we do provide certification exams that if you pass, you get a certificate from the Linux Professional Institute. We actually support our mission by selling those certifications. But again, our mission is actually to make the whole ecosystem of free and open technology better to everyone. Here is an example of the tracks that we have for our certification. So we have the Essentials track, where today we provide Linux Essentials, and we are working on IoT Essentials, Security Essentials, and Web Development Essentials. Then we have what we call the Linux Professional track, that we start with LPIC 1, and LPIC 1 is the Linux System Administrator, LPIC 2 is the Network System Administrator, and then the specialties on LPIC 3, Security, Mixed Environment, and Virtualization. So those, especially those three certifications are very well desired if you are working on cloud, providing solutions to the cloud. Then we have in the open technology track, we have the DevOps certification, a certification that is a lot of people is looking after. And we have the BSD specialist. The BSD, the Berkeley System Software Distribution, is another Unix-like software, Unix-like operating system that as Linux derives from Unix. And we are working on the BOSS certification, which is a certification for the CTOs and CIOs of the company that will deal with contracts, licenses, and things like that. Today, we have more than 200,000 people certified. We have given a lot of exams all over the world, and we are present all over the world through our partners. Another question that people ask me, should I learn how to program? Short answer, yes, you should. Even if you are working with system administrations, you will need to know how to program in shell script. If you are working on that data sciences, we will need to learn how to program in Python and R and maybe other languages. And if you look the way the market is doing, like several big companies and not so big companies, they are working on the transition from people that usually had jobs that did not require programming to jobs where they will use programming in a day-by-day basis. I'll give you here only one example by Disney with the Code Rosie 2.0 project, which is specifically for women. So this is another thing that we need to worry about, like have more diversity and inclusion in the ICT market. LPI is very worried about that, and we believe that all industries should also be worried about that. So, small hints for you as you learn how to program. Learn programming logic first. It is very important. Some people believe that you should just start right away writing in some language. You can do that, but if you first learn programming logic, and there are several resources on the web for you to do that, you will be stronger in your knowledge to learn all kinds of programming languages. If you need to change from one language to another, it will be easy for you. After you learn programming language, after you learn programming logic, choose one programming language. Every computing problem is able to be solved with any computer programming language. So don't give up very easily. Start learning a programming language and go all to the end. After you do that, you can learn more programming languages. Choose a modern IDE, integrated development environment. If you haven't chosen any one yet, give a try to the Jupyter Notebook. I will also provide you the link in here. Choose a project on GitHub, GitLab, Savannah that appeals to you and start collaborating with this project, and tell everybody what you are doing. Start building your portfolio. It's very important for people that will hire you, for people that will ask you to participate in a project, for them to know what you are doing and what are the efforts that you are making to learn. I'll give you some examples in here of projects. I'll leave you just a few links in here. Of course, there is a lot more of that, and do feel free to ask me questions. I will leave here my email to you. I do get a lot of emails from all over the world, and I do reply to all of them. Sometimes it takes me some time to do that because of the amount of the emails. So if I'm taking too much time to reply to you, forward the message to me again. It will bump to the top of my inbox, and I will reply to you. I'll get to your message and I will reply to you. That's all for now. Thank you very much. It was great to be here with you. Bye bye. See you next time. Live long and prosper.